What's up everybody, welcome back to Earn It, Save It, Invest It. In this video, I'm going to be breaking down Hims stock. Recently, it's been going down into the trash. It's down 10% after hours. It's early February. They just came out, they just announced their weight loss pill. So why is the stock going down, right? So I'm going to go over exactly why the stock's going down, the Wegovy pill, the legal issues with Novo Nordisk. Is it legal? Why is it legal, or why isn't it legal? And what I expect the stock to do over the next years and over the next months and years. So if you can, please give me a like and subscribe. This might be a long video, but I'm going to break down exactly what's going on with Hims and this crazy turmoil that they have going on. So this is Hims, and as you can see, it's going to be 10% when it opens tomorrow, right? This is the after hour, so it's going to be at $21 for Hims. $21 has it, the last time it really hit there was at 2024, right? Yep, 2024 it was, and then before that you go back 5 years ago. So in the last 5 years it's down 2%, which is pretty insane. But why was it down? Why is this going down? It's continuing to go down, right? If you look at just the last month, it's down 30% in the last month. So what's going on? Well, Eli Lilly and Novo are down as Hims offer cheaper weight loss pill. Now you might be thinking exactly like, why is Hims down? Right? If they're offering the cheaper pill, why are they down? We're going to go over that really quick. So Eli Lilly and Novo Nordisk, right? They're both actually going down because Hims and Hers announced their low-cost compounded version. Both of them dropped 1.8%, 1.7%. Hims said it's copycat version, which Hims does not call it a copycat version. Said it'll be launched at an introductory price of $49 per month. That's 1 month. After that, it's $100 a month. It's so foolish to keep doing this. It's $100 a month, indicating a roughly $50, it's not $100, discount to Novo's brand name product, which entered in January, right? So again, 30% in the last month it's down. Well, Novo they announced last month that they're putting out a pill. You don't have to take a shot anymore to lose all that weight. The telehealth platform added GLP-1 will be customizable to treat patients who are seeking to manage their side effects and those who are averse to needles. People don't like them, I guess, right? Gaston Krupp, a patent lawyer in New York, told Reuters that the customizing its product for these patients, Hims and Hers is touting its treatment as another personalized option, broadening the bounds of personalization under the FDA's framework. However, Novo called the action illegal mass compounding that significantly impacts patient safety and added it will resort to legal and regulatory measures to protect patients, our intellectual property, and the integrity of the U.S. gold standard drug approval framework. Hims has shown a willingness to go as close to the line as possible. It's a strategy of saying, all right, if we pop our head over the barbed wire fence, is anybody going to take a shot? So that's interesting, right? So again, that was about Hims offering the cheaper weight loss pill, but now Novo seeks legal action as Hims launches their pill, right? So to kind of go break all this down, right? Again, they launched their pill. It really was about 13%. Hims was up 13%, and then it ended up being down 2%, and then it's down, about 10% in after hours. It's pretty insane. However, Hims plans to roll out its $49 per month. Again, that's not true. Who can pay $99 per month compared? Oh wait, Hims members with a 5-month subscription plan can pay $99 compared to $100. Oh, okay. So I guess it is a $100 discount if you're paying. So okay, then that makes sense. But they should just say it's $100 a month. I don't like that. It's, yes, for 1 month. So it's not a copycat version, but they're saying it contains the same active ingredient, semaglutide, as the Wegovy pill, and can be customized to patients who seek to manage side effects and those who are adverse to needles. The action by Hims and Hers is illegal mass compounding that poses a significant risk to patient safety. Novo said in a statement, Novo Nordisk will take legal and regulatory action to protect patients. And right, I already read all that. So Novo is announcing that they're going to do something about it, right? Hims is already has markets of compounded versions of, you know, the injectable version, right? Even though it's not even still on the shortage list. So that's a big reason why it's been going down today. Over the last month, as you can see, Wegovy has a pill, not just the injectable, you know, injectable shot. So now, you know, that changes the competition. But this had me thinking, okay, how legal is this, right? I know of all kinds of things that are not FDA approved that I can get. So what is exactly Hims doing? Why is it illegal? What makes it illegal? Is it illegal? So I was kind of digging into it a little bit, and this is kind of what I was finding out. And again, I am using Google, obviously, with some of this, but then I also found some links and was figuring this out. So first, I just put what's in Hims compounded semaglutide, right? So it's a custom mix version of the GLP-1 receptor agonist medication designed for weight loss, often combined with vitamin B12, that mimics the action of drugs like Wegovy or Ozempic. It is used to regulate appetite, slow gastric emptying, and promote weight loss through injections, usually sourced through licensed pharmacies. It is considered a new drug under FDA guidelines. So the active ingredient is semaglutide, just a GLP-1 receptor agonist. The composition often combined with vitamin B12 by compounding pharmacies. The purpose is weight loss management, and it mimics GLP-1 hormones to reduce hunger, increase satiety, I don't even know what that word is, and slow gastric emptying. It's typically administered through injection, but obviously now you can do it through a pill. Okay, so that is what it's mainly, that's what it's, what's in it, right? And there's actually a little bit more after that. I'll go over it because I actually put the ingredients. And Wegovy ingredients, right? What is it? It's GLP-1 receptor agonist injection designed for, same thing, weight loss management. It contains 0.25 to 2.4 of the active ingredient. Inactive ingredients in the pre-filled single-use pens include disodium phosphate dihydrate, sodium chloride, water for injection, and hydrochloric acid or sodium hydroxide for pH adjustment. Active ingredient, again, semaglutide. Inactive, it's, you know, all those things I just read. And you can also say the other, the oral tablet, the inactive ingredient is something sodium and a magnesium. Like, I mean, come on, I'm not a scientist here. And so again, what it does, right? It's the same thing, right? It's about regulating your appetite and food intake and all that stuff. Okay, so I put, what's the difference? What's the difference in Hims and Wegovy? Well, the primary difference is Hims and Hers compounded lie in the regulatory statute, delivery method, price, and manufacturing. The regulatory Wegovy is FDA approved, meaning it's undergone rigorous controlled clinical trials to prove its safety and efficacy, which, I mean, yes and no. I mean, yes, FDA approved stuff is probably better for you. At the same time, I've taken plenty of stuff that's not FDA approved, and there's stuff that is FDA approved. I'm like, okay, yeah, whatever. So you can kind of put that, I guess, a personal opinion in that. But they do they have to do some testing, right? Hims offers compounded semaglutide, which is not FDA approved, although it is created in specialized, state licensed, or FDA registered 503B facilities. Wegovy is once a week injection, or the oral pill, right? The cost, we already went over that. The manufacturing. Wegovy uses a specific snack technology to help the body absorb the drug. Hims and Hers claims to use a different proprietary formula, liposomal technology, designed to protect the active ingredient during digestion. Availability. Wegovy is subject to supply shortages, where compounded versions are often available even during the shortages. Safety and efficacy, because compounded drugs do not go through the same rigorous clinical trials, there is limited data on the safety. So there's, all of that, right? Now, I put, does Hims use a different, like, I don't even know. I was like, okay, what exactly is all of this, right? So yes, it uses a different, right? It's a little bit different. It contains the same active ingredient, but the formulation, delivery method, and manufacturing processes are different than Wegovy, right? So that's, it's just really quickly, that's what it is. How can, and then I wanted to say, okay, well then how can Hims sell semaglutide, right? Because it's saying that, they have a patent on it, and you can't, it's not FDA approved and all this stuff, right? So okay, well then how can Hims sell it? Well, they sell compounded semaglutide by utilizing Section 503A of the Federal Food, Drug, and Cosmetic Act, which permits licensed pharmacies to create customized medications for specific patient needs. They argue their version is personalized to address unique needs, such as different dosages or avoiding needles, amid ongoing legal scrutiny from manufacturer Novo Nordisk. Okay, so they're saying that in 503, right, this is what I did. I looked it up, and it can, right now, there is all of this stuff that I was reading through, but essentially, yes, you can, right? These are all the different things. I'm not going to put the link on there, but I did kind of read through this, and it seems as if, yes, if they are using, it's not a loophole, but there's definitely different, ways of going about it, and they're following the rules of 503. This is 503A, right? Pharmacy compounding. Who's doing the compounding of the drugs, right? And then they're also using 503B. Let me see if it shows. Maybe it's right here somewhere. Compounding loophole. While FDA allows and sometimes restricts compounded versions based on drug shortages, Hims has continued to sell these products tailoring to individual patient requirements. Active ingredients. Hims partners with or sources active pharmaceutical ingredients from FDA-registered facilities to create their often oral So Hims is using FDA-approved facilities, FDA-approved pharmacies. It's just the final product hasn't been FDA approved, right? So although the FDA has issued warnings about the marketing of compounded GLP-1s, Hims has continued to sell them, arguing their customized versions meet unique clinical needs not met by this name brand product. So, I was like, okay. And then there was also something else that said 503B right here. And these are the compounding outsourcing facilities that you can do, right? Under the Food, Drug, and Cosmetic Act, right? So they use facilities that are approved from here. So again, they are following the rules technically, right? So I to go over here in the board of directors, right? You have this young guy, Andrew Dudum. You have Deb Otter, right? Which, if you look at her background, right? Let's look at her. There's two people, her and one other person. She serves as Hims and Hers Chief Policy Officer. Actually, what am I doing here? What am I doing? Let me zoom in on this, right? Okay. She served as Hims and Hers Chief Policy Officer, a role she got in November 2025, right? So this is new. This is new for her. A board director of Amneal Pharmaceuticals, and she was the chair of the board of the FDA Alumni Association. Okay. She has served as CEO of the strategic regulatory consulting firms Healthcare Innovation Catalyst, Inc., and Otter Strategies. She was previously a board member of Parts Biosciences. Some other ones. Let's keep moving on to the one that I really wanted to show you. From 2019 2021, she was the global head of regulatory excellence at AstraZeneca, where she led regulatory operations, policy, and intelligence for AstraZeneca submissions globally. she seems to know some stuff about regulatory stuff, right? So AstraZeneca, right? Has done well over the last 5 years, right? 88%. Obviously, it's a pharmaceutical type company and all that. So it's not going to be. It can either go boom or bust, or it can kind of just be. You never know with these. But it's kind of been on a consistent rise over the last 5 years. Even throughout 2022, it went up, right? So. And this is a company, the market cap is $292 billion. So that is a company that she was, working with. Right now, Hims is a $5.5 billion company. She was dealing with, $250 billion. And she was the, what exactly was the global head of regulatory excellence at AstraZeneca, right? From 2019 to 2021. So let's see. Let's actually go back to 2019. All right. So yeah, it went up. 2021 it did well. I mean, those are some weird years. Pandemic right in between, but again, that sounds like someone who knows their stuff. Right? Obviously, there's still so much more. Director at the Office of Compliance at the Center for Drug Evaluation and Research, leading enforcement and policy making for compliance with requirements relating to drug approval, current good manufacturing practices, human subject protection and bioresearch monitoring, pharmacy compounding, import and export and recalls, among others. Before joining the FDA, she was a trial attorney of the Office of Consumer Litigation of the U.S. Department of Justice. Now, this just sounds like someone who's got their stuff together, right? And what is it? She serves as the Hims Chief Policy Officer. Now, if you gave me all of that and said, hey, this person's going to be the one that you can trust, that what you're doing is regulatorily correct, I'd say I trust her. Yeah. Yes. Look, can I... Hey, I want to do this. Can I do it? Yes? Okay. If she says yes, I'm going to, that sounds like a good deal. So, all right. So now I'm going to go over to one more person here. This is a big one too. Really big one. Carr? Oh God, sorry. I am not, you can tell I'm not the best in foreign languages. Schultz. Kerr Schultz. I'm just going to put Kerr. He's been a member of the board of directors since July 2024. From November 2017 to 2023, he served as the Chief Executive Officer of Teva Pharmaceutical Industries Limited. From 2015 to 2017, check this out, guys. Check it out. Mr. Schultz, served as President and Chief Executive Officer for Lundbeck A&S. This is what I wanted to show you. Prior to joining Lundbeck, Mr. Schultz worked for nearly 3 decades at Novo Nordisk, where he served in a number of leadership roles, including Chief Operating Officer, Vice President in Product Supply, and Director of Product Planning and Customer Services in the Diabetes Care Division. At Novo Nordisk, Mr. Schultz played a major role in modernizing the company's large-scale biologic production and leading the company's expansion into the U.S. and Chinese markets. I mean, I'm just going to start right there. So you're telling me the guy, he's a member of the board of directors, and he's helping lead their way. And he was with Novo Nordisk. This guy knows his stuff. He was there for 3 decades. He knows his stuff. In addition to Novo Nordisk, He held positions at McKinsey and Anderson Consulting. He developed a unique global perspective on the healthcare and pharmaceutical industries, expanded deep financial acumen, demonstrated a commitment to strong compliance principles and enforcement, and oversaw business operations and teams across Europe and North America and the Middle East. He holds a master's degree in economics and university. So, again, the big thing is he worked 3 decades. Worked for nearly 3 decades at Novo Nordisk. He knows how things work. I'm going to be honest with you. I mean, look at also Novo Nordisk. I mean, I guess we can go for 3 decades. It's been a long time for that guy, right? It's a $214 billion company. Now, Novo Nordisk has been getting hit real bad over the last while, right? Well, Hims has been coming after them a little bit and their stuff. So it's been down pretty bad lately. But when you look back, it is, you know, it's obviously grown significantly. But it's a $214 billion business. That man was running, obviously it was worth less then because it was back then before he joined those other companies. But again, Hims is a $5.5 billion company. So if you were to say that an ex-Novo Nordisk big time player for 3 decades and someone who's a regulatory guru, it seems like, right? Deb, right? That's her name. I just want to make sure I get that right. Deb. Like, my company is going to be in their hands. Yeah, Deb. Like, of course, I'm going to trust these people. So, you know, another thing, Hims and Hers rolls out Grails. Oh, no. Let me charge my battery really quick. It's rolling out, and this is what I was saying Hims is going to do, is they're rolling out a drug testing. They're rolling out a blood testing, a blood test product. And they just bought this company that can take your blood with like a micro needle. The needle is so small that you're not gonna feel it, you're not gonna even know it takes it. And so I think they're trying to really combine that with like, okay, you can get someone's blood, you can test it, and then you can screen it early for cancer. Rolled out multi-cancer screening test, and that also came out today. So I'm not going to get into it, but it's a $250 discount to the gallery price for customers who have signed up for the company's labs plan. So that's pretty crazy, right? A lot of people, you know, it says right here, recommended for adults with elevated cancer risk, cannot identify all tumors, and can generate false positives and false negatives. However, people can use it annually as the blood-based MCED is designed to detect more than 50 types of cancer before onset of symptoms. Even though cancer screening technology has advanced significantly, there are still too many life-changing diagnoses that should have been made earlier. Access to innovation is the key to changing that. Hims is not just looking to, you know, when you think about big pharma, they've done a lot of putting out drugs and stuff like that, but they haven't done a lot of curing stuff. Now, obviously, they're not, Hims and Hers is not curing anything, but what they're going to try to do is get to it quicker, prevention, right? Faster, like before I have to really deal with intake a bunch of drugs, why don't I get to it so I can just start eating maybe a little bit of this? I mean, people should be doing that anyway, but or maybe I can take a drug at a smaller dosage, right? That will now prevent this cancer from growing or happening. So that's my opinion on Hims and Hers. Oh, I really haven't even given my opinion, right? I do believe Hims and Hers is going to be a big company in the future. It's interesting to see how much it's gone down over, you know, Novo Nordisk saying they're gonna, you know, go after them legally. I mean, I guess, you know, we looked at the difference in company size, right? I mean, they could squash Hims and Hers whole market cap, essentially, but just bam, pulling out just legal stuff. So that's going to be interesting. But also, Hims and Hers seems like they're doing it legally. So if nothing really comes to it, then it'll be okay. But the thing is, Novo, they can just put legal pressure, legal fees onto Hims and Hers, which that sucks, right? Hims and Hers is now, you're already going to have to pay your lawyers and all this stuff, but now it's like Novo is just going to come after them, right? My parents have had a ridiculous fight with their neighbors over a little piece of land that the neighbors was going crazy. No one's even touched it for 30 years. And so they went to court, and they're spending all this money just to fight over this little sliver thing that's end up nothing's probably going to change. Nothing's going to change. But yet my parents have to now pay lawyers, go through the courts, and do all this for nothing. And so that's what it feels like Hims and Hers might have to do, is like, okay, now we're going to have to, get our lawyers on here and do all this, charges to all these lawyers, and now we're going to have to pay all this money. But at the same time, I don't think they're going to be stopped. I do trust the people that are in charge. I do believe that they're going to know what's going on. And so far, Hims and Hers has not put out anything saying they're worried about anything. They have not, said, oh, we're in danger of anything. Oh, the Novo Nordisk, like them offering the pills now, like putting us in a spot where we, they just keep coming out with their own stuff. And I think the people in charge know what they're doing. That's really important. If you know, or if you trust that those people know what they're doing, then what else can you do, right? I mean, you have to either trust or not trust, and I trust these people. Doesn't mean you can't get sued. You could be doing something perfectly legal and still get sued. And that's why, that's where I think it's really going to hurt them. The stock itself, if we look at the stock, it has been getting crushed. It is past now. This was a support from back in the day. It's actually more of a resistance from earlier, but previous resistances became supports. And this one never really became a support. Just like one time, a little bounce off here, a little bit here, but right here, boom, and then back down. Now 25, this is it. 21 now though, right? It's going to go down to 20. It's going to go all the way down to here. That's incredible. 16 is the next stop. 16 is the next stop. You have nothing else. You have nothing. That's the crazy thing about Hims, is that you don't have enough technicals. There's not enough technicals to be like, oh, at right here it bounces and there's it's like, it's been so insanely volatile for so long that what are you gonna do? It's bouncing. It's constantly bouncing, and you can't really. It's unpredictable. So again, my 2 cents. First, like and subscribe. I do believe Hims is gonna get through this. I am a Hims shareholder, and it is devastating my account because it was my top position a little while ago, and now it is definitely not. And I started my challenge. I have a $100,000 challenge, and Hims was one of my biggest positions at the time. And I didn't start the challenge starting like from, I started with $7,354, and I didn't from that day buy $7,354 worth of stocks. I had already had that much. I just decided, you know what? I'm going to try this challenge with the portfolio that I have already built right now. I'm just going to do this challenge. At the time, Hims was in the 50s. Hims was in the 50s. It was over double what it is right now. 2.5 times almost. So my portfolio has been getting devastated, but my spirits are not getting devastated. I believe in the company of Hims. Really quick, actually, I did not go over their financials. I wanted to go over their financials really quick, because if you look at their financials, right, if we just go in the summary really quick, and as you can see, right, we have strong buy, strong buy, hold, buy, no sells. Let's go over here. Look at this. Revenue, looking like it's going to continue going up. Earnings per share, take a little dip right here, fourth quarter 2025 maybe, and then it's just going to continue to go up. Earnings per share estimates just go up year over year, 30%, 31%. Yes, they had a hit this last year, right? But that's pretty good, right? The valuation, when you have a high PE, it's always going to be bad, but the revenue growth is 78%. Revenue 3-year CAGR, 70%. 70%. Profitability It's pretty good. 75% gross. Now it's only a 6% net, but it's doing well. And then if we look really quick at their earnings, right? Let's look at all their earnings. They've been doing well. I mean, you look at the growth rates, you know. Now again, the bigger you go in terms of the company, your growth rates start to slow down a little bit, but their growth rates are still kind of all over the place. But their lowest this whole time was a 45% year over year in 2024. Other than that, they've been growing at 50%, 70%, 90, 100%. You know, their revenue is growing significantly. Their earnings per share, they've missed a couple, but typically they're beating. And, you know, so it's just interesting to see exactly where HIMS is going to go. Oh, like and subscribe. Where HIMS is going to go from here. I do believe it's going to be a $100 stock in the next 5 years. So if you do that, you know, if it becomes a $100 stock, let's just do this really quick. So let's say right now it's going to be $21, 5 years, 0. If you want it to be, we're going to go 4 years, 2030. So I think by 2030, you're looking at like this thing is going to be almost a 50% compounding interest. Oh, you're not looking at the screen. You know, if you look at a compounding interest calculator and, you know, you say, all right, well, the stock is $21, you have 4 years, and your rate of return is 50% every compounded annually, then that's about $106. Now, I do believe it'll be about $100 in 2030 based on the revenue estimates and all that. So, yeah, that's just my 2 cents right there. Please give it a like and subscribe for how many times I've asked. Yeah, if you're a HIM shareholder, you're going to have to hold on tight. I believe you either hold or buy. I don't believe in selling it right now. But you also have to do your own research, do your own thing, feel comfortable with your decision, and live with it. You know, sleep comfortable. And yeah. That's it for me. Thank you for watching. And never forget to earn it, save it, invest it, buy low, sell high. I want assets, not liabilities. And you can count on compounded interest.